Alright, new tool day. I believe this is a newer tool to the Makita lineup. First time I saw it was when it was in the newer flyer. Anyways, so I bought it because I got some tree work coming up. Let's just start with the unboxing. I won't lie to you, I've had this open before because I got it at Buddy's place and we just had to take a little sneak peek. But all that was missing is, from this is one little piece of plastic, so you got your paperwork. Comes with a filing jig and file. Handle, nicely branded. Your first dose of oil, which I obviously put in before I tried to test it out. And the saw itself. I got the 6-inch version, they also make a 4-inch. Comes with a little cover. Pretty quick. Disassemble, toolless. Oh look, there's some of my leftovers from when I was doing some testing. It's a spring-loaded deal to tension the bar. So let me just, while you have this out, to put it back in, you would just put it in very similar to a normal chainsaw. However, this is what this little spring-loaded guy, which generally you'd have a screwdriver to manually adjust where it sits to how far to push the bar out. You can actually just push it all the way back. It detents in. Then when you go to put your bar, your little baby bar back on, as soon as you push down, it releases that detent and pushes the bar forward. So I'll just put the chain back in the right spot here. It's kind of difficult while I'm holding this up in the air for you, but there we go. And now that pushes it forward already a set amount, I believe. And we can just screw this guy back on, just the way it sits. That's how they get the toolless tension, I believe, is they just have it where you want. So it's at a factory set amount every time. The other side, little oil filler area, push down to open up. Still quite full from before. It's nice that they send at least a bit of oil with you, so you know you're not gonna screw it up right away. Spring-loaded guard. Four-inch dry pine log. Alright, so this is without any cleaning done beforehand, what it looks like after use. Got a fair couple batteries since I adjusted the chain. Definitely got some oil buildup. You know, this was really used for about 12 5-amp-hour batteries. So 5-amp-hour batteries, 12 of them. That's how much I've used this tool, which is actually a fairly significant amount. I was very surprised on the battery life, actually, but I'm going to go ahead and clean this up and then we'll come back to you. So yeah, so far actually quite impressed with this tool, but obviously I have semi-kicked the chain off a couple times because I was really lightsabering this thing. I don't know how else to say it. You can see the scars on the marks, or the scars on this guard that has a bit of side-to-side play naturally, which is fine. It did its job. There's one scar in the plastic here for when the chain came back on the bottom and it was off, but more or less completely reasonable. So I'm just going to quickly slap her back together here for you in real time. Come on. Look, I didn't even look, but I did actually put the chain on the correct way. Fancy that. And my spare chain has arrived. Perfect. So, these guys, part number from Makita is 19112E8-3, which is quite a bit different than what the actual says right on the saw. Let's double check that these are correct. However, initially, the specs look correct. Ta-da! 100% the correct chain. A quick comparison on how much a chain stretches for this little bit of use. I'm going to go with negligibly for the amount I've used it. So that means a little bit of what I was experiencing in the bar might have actually been this mechanism slowly, you know, because it's just like finger tight, working as a one-way mechanism. So when you get it hung up on something and you pull this, or you push, I guess it would be more so, the bar gets pushed back against this, just this friction fit. Well, I guess nut and bolts on all the traditional chainsaws are technically friction fit under compression, but now we're just plastic on plastic instead of steel on steel without leverage. But completely reasonable, I think, for the application. And yeah, it's a pretty new tool to me, but this wouldn't be a worthwhile little first look and first little review of a tool if a guy wasn't worthy enough to take apart his own tool. I mean, I might not be on the grandmaster level of taking it apart before you even try and use it and then you put it back together to make a video, but we're close enough. At least we're going to take it apart here. So yeah, it would appear you can easily take the knuckle guard off or the hand guard off if you so desired. However, I wouldn't really know why a guy would want to. So that looks friction fit slash press fit slash injection molded around that insert. Probably injected around it. It's actually pretty good, probably the best way to do it. Oh look, extra warnings on the inside there. Nice. I have a hunch here that might have to come off. Fortunately, I did pause the recording there for a second, but she almost went sproing when I got it off with a screwdriver. Replaceable wear component if you were a professional, but a home gamer, I doubt you'll ever wear this out. Oh, first look inside of the oil reservoir and what looks like an... Oh, I actually didn't expect this, but it's actually a powered pump. I thought we'd be doing some sort of weird siphon thing, but I guess this is a any position type of saw. But it looks like we have a intake, and then we're injecting on the top right here through the two channels of this little rubber insert, which almost came out when I was blowing her down earlier. But yeah, that's actually really nifty. Let's see if I can break some rules here. Very nice, very nice. Alright, well there we have our internals, everybody. Little baby digital motor, hypoid gear, if I got that right. Pretty standard for these tools, actually. A little bit of dust ingress right off the nose after a little bit of use. Well, actually more than a little bit of use, but at least it's all potted electronics. Actually, I like how they have the electronics up here, and sometimes they pot them right into this, where you plug the battery in, and that seems to take a decent amount of abuse. But up here, you might actually get away with a little bit better. I mean, I'm no small electronics wizard, so I mean, I might not go too aggressively far into this whole thing here, but definitely wanted to give you guys a look. Nice look-see.